So you think you're eating enough protein? The likelihood is you're not. So we're going to do a deep dive into why protein is important, not only for people who train, men and women. Protein is important for anybody, anytime, anywhere. Let's get into it.
Okay, I'm going straight in from the beginning. What is protein? Protein is one of the 3 essential macronutrients along with carbs and fat, and it is made up of amino acids, which essentially help our bodies to grow and repair itself. Now think of amino acids like little chains or little building blocks, and when you add a lot of them together, they create a protein chain. There are 20 amino acids in total. 9 of them are essential and our body can't make them. You've got to eat them. And that comes in your chicken.
You've got eggs, beef, pork, lamb, fish.
If you're plant-based like me, you've got your...
Then you've got your dairy as well. You've got
tofu.
your Greek yogurt and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they're called complete protein. So that's the foods that contain all 9 of the essential amino acids that our bodies need and can't make.
Cheese as well is one as well.
Cheese.
Fun fact for you there, guys. Cheese.
So your incomplete proteins like your beans and your grains are missing 1 or 2 of the 9, but if you eat a lot of them, they can combine to basically give your body everything that it needs. Like one complete protein. So not only does protein help repair and grow your muscle, but it also helps make things like enzymes, estrogen. It helps with your immune system, your hair, skin, nails, bones. It's got a whole plethora of uses, does protein.
It has. So yeah, guys, it's not just for bodybuilders, it's for everyone that wants to age well.
So speaking of age, we got asked a very good question, one of the many good questions we got asked, which was, do women need more protein as they're approaching menopause? Very good question. And the answer is yes, we do, because as our estrogen levels drop, our body uses protein less efficiently in order to repair and grow our muscles, along with many other things we have going through menopause.
So how much protein should someone take, would you say?
On average, again, if you're not training or becoming a professional bodybuilder, I would aim for around 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight a day. Again, depending on, but try not to overthink it and ram it in and panic. Nothing is going to happen to your muscles, but our bodies do use them less efficiently when our hormones go a bit haywire during that time. Again, we are going to do a separate video on womanly things. But yeah, we do need to increase our protein when we go through that stage, and it can help with a lot of adding extra protein can help. You can't eliminate the symptoms of menopause, but it can help to can help a little bit with some of the symptoms. But again, we'll go into that. So I would recommend though making sure you're getting your complete proteins in. Try not to go for things like protein bars and things like that. Get it from your lean meats, your fish, again, if you're plant-based, or your veggie from, tofu and things like that. And any women out there who are going through this, who want, a little bit of guidance or extra advice, please do reach out. I would say this is a bit of me forte. I would love to help you, because not that I've been through it yet, but it doesn't sound like a nice time. And I do believe food is medicine. Again, I'm not a doctor. No. I'm not saying, I can't eliminate the symptoms, but I think you can kind of help a little bit, and it can help fight against some of them. And so I would say eating more protein isn't, it's essential for, especially when you're going through that time.
I would say as well, I know we're talking about carbs for on whole foods, and I think it's important that yes, you eat the whole, putting whole foods, real food into your body is massively important. It helps with, it's far better than the processed stuff. It just touching on supplements for a second. Supplements has a place, but I would be careful. Don't use supplements as a replacement meal.
For your food.
So don't drink your protein powders all day
protein bars
and every day thinking it's going to replace whole foods, because it doesn't. And again, you've got to be careful as well of the additives that's in protein powders, because again, there's a lot of protein products out there, and if you look at the ingredients on the back, they're not fantastic. There's some really good clean ones out there, and I think it's important. You might pay a few extra quid for them, but they are overall better.
And we are going to do a full video on supplements and helping you to find the right ones. With protein powder, I will say, often the case, yes, there's some very good, reasonably priced ones out there, but on a whole, you do pay for what you get, I think, with protein powder. You know my thoughts on protein powder.
Well, I know that, but again, I do think that they can form part of a healthy nutrition
Definitely,
plan.
but I think talking about, if you're thinking, don't panic and think to get extra protein in, I need to go out and buy the first protein powder I see, and protein, just concentrate on your foods. Like I say, we'll put maybe a post up with, foods containing complete proteins and the sort of best ones for your body, but kind of, I think supplements you think of last. You create, again, your solid foundation. You look at your diet before you add in supplements, because supplements need to complement your lifestyle, complement your eating. They're not, like you said, it's not to replace anything, because you cannot replace the food that you eat.
No, you can't beat a nutrient dense meal, because
all the health.
Well, yeah, but it's again, and having a good amount of protein helps your energy, helps keeping you full. So you're not having to snack on the processed stuff. Do you know what I mean? And as I say,
if you're hungry and you're using, I think, a protein shake as a way to combat your hunger, then you need to look at what you're eating, because there's something not right.
Well, it ain't gonna work if you're just taking a protein shake, or you even put something in it like bananas, berries, or whatever.
Oats.
You will be hungry again probably an hour later, an hour and a half later.
Yeah.
So where if you pack your plate full of protein, again, a nutrient dense food, and your plate's colourful and what have you, that meal there.
And I think you've got to remember as well, protein powders, they have calories. So if you've got a protein powder that has 200 calories, what food can you have with 200 calories? That's probably going to satisfy you more, and your body's going to get way more out of it, especially as our needs grow when we get older.
So use them, but don't be mistaken in letting it replace any of your meals. They're there for a purpose, for a reason. I think the clues in the name supplement. And that people will be saying, well, no shit, Sherlock. But nevertheless, I think it gets. I know. Back in the day, I used to do it.
I've done it before.
I hold my hands up. I used to do it, and
I was hungry. I used to have a protein shake when I was first started out, before I kind of did my nutrition side.
But now I can't remember the last time I had any protein, any whey protein, anything
Again,
like that.
If it's not
that's not. I'm not saying I'm not going to in the future. It's just that I haven't done. I've got into the habit of just getting me protein sources through me.
Because that's where it should come first. So guys, always aim to get your protein in through your food, and then again, any supplements you take, it needs to be the right ones, good quality ones, and they need to complement your lifestyle and what you're doing, and they need to serve a purpose. If you're just having them willy-nilly, just for when you're hungry, wasting your time and money. But again, we're going to get into that a little bit deeper, especially supplements, on another video. So the question on everybody's lips, one of the most questions I get asked when it comes to protein: how much protein should you be eating? So this again, it depends on.
Well, it's a few things really, but somebody who's not doing training, I suppose, or just exercising or whatever, that 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight.
The ladies, that goes up when they reach menopause stage.
And anybody who's training 1.6 to 2.2.
Yeah, again depending on
Yeah.
training levels.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting as well, getting into the training side of things. I think either people hyper focus on the protein, and that's when you get your protein powder for breakfast, protein powder after your training. You know, I got a question yesterday and someone asked, I have 4 protein shakes a day, I train 4 or 5 times a week, is that too much?
What training 4 or 5 times a week, or eating
4 or 5 times. She trains 4 or 5 times a week and she's having 4 protein shakes a day along with her food.
Well, me personally, I think depending on what type of training she's doing, well, it's madness really.
You don't need 4 or 5.
You don't need 4 shakes. I mean, is this person replacing what was said before?
I did message and ask that, and she says no, she has it like in replacement of, well, sorry, she doesn't replace our meals, she play it in replacement of snacks.
Right.
But it's not really, I wouldn't call it a snack.
No. Well, again, what protein powders you're taking, what's in it, what artificial sweeteners are in it,
yeah,
what bulkers are in it,
yeah.
all this type of stuff.
What's the quality of the protein?
Yeah, I would have said that was probably excessive.
I think, yeah, training 4 or 5 times a week, you definitely don't need 4 protein shakes every single day.
No, your nutrition needs to be good.
Yeah, you don't need.
No.
So I'm going to say no, but again, going back to people who are training in general, you do need to increase your protein level. Do you think people in the, you know, who do, you know, go to the gym, say as much as you go to the gym, which is 5-6 times a week sometimes, but, you know, do you think on the whole, do you think people eat enough protein, or do you think it's overhyped, or do you think people hyper focus on it?
No, I think probably most people train harder. I think they probably train harder than they eat. I think that's I think again
do you think nutrition in general, not just protein, kind of gets overstepped? People think if I train hard, it'll sort of outweigh what I'm eating. That makes sense. Like they focus more on the training, exercise, go to the gym than they do on the
possibly
what they're consuming and putting in the body, when it should be the other way around.
Well, of course, what they say, 5 to 10% happens in the gym, and the rest is outside.
Yeah.
And this is what you eat. So what you know, and your sleep as well. Your sleep's massively important. We're going to do a short thing on sleep, but yeah. So I think it is fair to say that people do probably train harder than what they eat, and especially when it comes to protein. So an under-eating protein means poor recovery, low energy, stalled results as well.
Your muscles aren't going to develop and strengthen as probably as much as
honestly
as you want it to.
You wouldn't believe it's massively important.
Mm-hmm.
And again, look,
nobody's perfect.
I'm not preaching anybody here, but I know myself, right? I know myself that I haven't ate enough protein in the past. And it's so easily done. And I think if you pack your plate again with
nutrients,
nutrients dense food, honestly, your energy and
it's everything.
It just goes. It does. Everything goes through the roof.
It's everything.
I know again over my last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I've really massively put a massive focus on me training, me eating, and my energy has been great in the gym. It really has. And all I've done is not rocket science, because I've gone through peaks and troughs with me training, especially with what I eat, because I love a bag of crispy. I kind of.
It's going back to the carbs.
I do love
potato. It's potato.
I love a bag, but I've got the discipline to say no. If I'm really focused on something, I can go, no, I'm not having it.
But that discipline does take time, I think.
It does. 100%.
And I think it comes when you start seeing results. I think when you start seeing your body change, or even when you start feeling better, you start seeing the results that you're after. Yeah. You do have that, I'll have it, because there's nothing wrong with having a crisp and there's nothing wrong with having a treat.
No.
But it's the mentality of from this day I can't have it anymore because I have to healthy eat. But I think going back to what we mentioned or touched upon in the carb video, if you don't label food good or bad food, right, just things that are better for you than others, and you don't take anything off the table as such, it's fine to go grab a handful of crisps. That's all right, because guess what? You can have them again tomorrow. There's nothing wrong with having another half, because you have at least a couple of handful of crisps a day, and so do I. But there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it takes to change your mentality, doesn't it?
But what you got to remember as well, protein doesn't just help build muscle; it helps burn fat as well.
Yes.
So anybody who's on that journey of wanting to lose weight or whatever, you've got no idea how important protein is. In particular, good protein.
Yeah, your complete protein, like you mentioned in the beginning. But again, it goes back to not just protein. It's, we said carbs and protein are, work hand in hand. In the do, so it's not just about getting your protein in, it's about getting a little bit of everything that your body needs. So your body needs the good, the healthy fats, it needs the good carb. Again, I don't like good or bad carbs, but you know what I mean. It needs the right carbs, it needs the right proteins. There's a right and healthy way to doing everything.
I mean, if you're a strong man or a somebody who's training like that, they're putting on size. They can eat those types of carbs.
And this is another thing I did want to mention. You do kind of, when people are sort of looking for, and again I've done it, this is why I mention it, I've done it years ago before I kind of again had this full understanding of nutrition. If you're doing a certain type of training, we've all got people who we look up to. I think especially in the fitness world, you've got Clear Toomey, who's the fittest woman on earth. You've got your athletes who you follow. Try not to take their diet and copy it, because that works for their lifestyle. You're looking at people who are training anywhere between 7 to sometimes 15 hours a day, like their life. They get paid to train.
They get paid to train.
That's their life. So the food they're eating, again, it fits into their lifestyle, what they need. She needs a certain level of protein, just for taking, CrossFitters just for an example. They need that level of food. So again, it's about looking at what you're doing, if you're training, how much you're training, and just, I think, don't be looking at, again, this is, we're trying to simplify it. Shut off from what anyone on the internet's doing, shut off from what everyone, look at what you're doing and what fits into your lifestyle, and don't panic. Don't think, oh my God, am I getting enough, am I not getting enough? Just sort of look at what you're eating in a day and go, right, can I replace that with a lean bit of meat that will give us more protein?
What's that guy's name? Where's my phone? What's that guy's name?
Okay.
What's that guy's name who's swimming around Iceland? Is it Pete Bushell? Is that his name? Pete Bushell?
Swimming around Iceland? Oh, I don't know.
He does these extreme things. He's on YouTube. Pete Bushell, his name. I'm sure it's Pete Bushell. He's so he's swimming around Iceland, not all one go because it's 1,000 miles. Anyway, he had to change his diet obviously radically because of the activity he was doing, and there's a day of his eating, and you want to see some of the crap he's eating, but he's got to eat that
in order to get his calories in.
To get his calories in, and it's like it's horses for courses. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's
unbelievable what it's like. I was actually when I was actually watching it, I was absolutely slavering because I thought, my good God, but then he was he's swimming around friggin' Iceland.
Yeah,
he's pretty mad.
So sometimes you need to have that in order to get your calories up.
Aye. So what Cara was saying is, there's a lot of what athletes are doing, and strong men and all the rest of it. That's a specific, and that's their living.
Yeah, and it's very tailored to them.
Yeah, it's very tailored to them. Like,
they work out exactly what they need to the gram, like the point, because again, their body needs. Our bodies need certain things as well, but we couldn't eat what you know, professional swimmers eat, or professional runners, or again CrossFit athletes who are in, you know, again your tier 2s and all of it's.
Let's get any nerves out of it. I'm going to get your phone.
We're back in a jiffy.
Ross Edgley.
So we're back with his name, and it's not Pete.
God, I was as far as far away as my first toilet visit.
Where did he get Pete Bustle from? What's his
No
name?
idea. Ross Edgley.
It's not even remotely close to Pete.
And I wouldn't care. I've watched him in the past because he does other mad things as well. He's quite a beast is Ross. So
there'll be people I'm saying people watching this like we've got millions of viewers, but someone will be watching this going, Pete, who the hell's Pete?
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Ross.
If you ever see this, if I ever make it, yeah. But no, but leading on to that, and you're on about him consuming calories, I think it's also important to remember that protein isn't this magic, no-calorie macronutrient. That if you, like, so one of the questions is, can you have too much protein? Yes, in a sense of, if you overconsume protein, that means you're overconsuming calories. And it's overconsumption of calories that makes you obviously gain weight. Now, I have had this in the past where, you know, people are struggling to lose weight, they haven't, you know, high protein diet, this and that, the other, but they are over-consuming in calories because they're trying to get the protein levels in. But again, that's coming from added protein powders, added protein bars, which, you know, essentially some of them you might as well just eat a Mars bar or a Snickers because they've got, you know, again, it's calories. So when you think of protein, you've got to think of the calories eaten as well.
Yeah.
So this is why I try not to get too bogged down at first with, I need to get X amount of protein in, because you've got to think of the calories you're consuming with the protein, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So remember, protein isn't this magical no calorie or low calorie macronutrient that does, the food you're eating does contain calories in other things as well. So I think that's why it is important to concentrate on your complete proteins, your whole foods, to know, you know, you're getting the best basically. And if your goal is to develop muscle, lose fat, you've got to also watch you do have to watch your calorie consumption. It is just as simple as that.
Yeah.
So just remember that all your protein powders, your protein bars, and, you know, the added protein in this and the added protein in that, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy. Two, they contain calories. So just think, especially your processed.
And there's some and then again, there's some of the contents in them isn't.
So do you know these protein breakfast bars, or that, you know, people will get them because it's got protein on? That does not mean that it's healthy, and sometimes it's just the case of them adding a few extra nuts or adding a little bit, you know, cheap protein powder, which again, you don't know what's also in that protein powder.
It's additives and what have you. That's what it is.
Yeah, basically, it's a load of crap. So don't get pulled in by packaging that says high protein, because it contains protein, but 9 times out of 10 it's got a whole load of other crap in that is not good for you at all, and often they pull your eyeballs out basically because they've got added protein in.
I think it's also worth stating at this minute in time is, look, we're not saying you've got to be fanatical with regard to all this.
No, absolutely not.
All we're doing is we're just trying to make you aware that, you know, you've just taken notice of what you're buying.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
Because the protein, it is a money-making industry, this high protein. So again, if you sort of can take control and, you know, don't be, again, because I'm a sucker for a fancy package, mate. Like with anything, something says sale, I'll look at it even if I'm not interested in it. So like but try not to be drawn in by, again, like newer, higher protein, you know, I don't know, can you get high protein Weetabix or high protein cereal bars? Like, or don't get drawn in by it, because most of it is, let's face it, it's just junk, it's crap. It's just a way to make money. There is definitely, like everything, there's a healthier, better, more affordable way of doing it. Following on from that, Also try not to get sort of, it's a minefield when it comes to all these high protein foods, high protein diets. All I think you have to do is concentrate on giving your body the correct level of protein for you, i.e. if you are exercising, you are training, again depending on type of training, gender, it is a thing, then work out how much protein you need. So 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight, work out, stick to that daily. So aim for around 20 to 30 grams of protein for every meal, and you'll be giving your body what it needs. About a palm sized, again our palms are different, but roughly about a palm sized portion of protein with every meal. So don't focus on, oh my god, am I eating a high protein diet or am I not? If you sort of work within the realms of that, of what you need, then you'll not be over consuming, or you shouldn't be over consuming on calories, especially if you're eating your complete proteins and you're getting it from, again, whole foods, and you'll be getting a healthy amount of protein.
You've always got to remember as well, if you've got certain medical conditions as well, like kidney issues or anything like that,
yes,
then
mainly,
you should be speaking to
a doctor or a renal dietitian.
Specialist.
Yeah. So if you've got kidney function problems, if you know you've got kidney damage, mainly medical problems to do with your kidneys is where I think a high protein diet might be bordering on dangerous. So again, speak to your doctor, speak to a renal dietitian. Either or, both won't hurt, but there's no link, or there's no scientific research at the minute anyway that proves that a high protein diet causes any kidney damage or function. I just want to put that out there. But if you overconsume on protein, it will store as fat. If your body, like anything, if your body's got no use for it, it will store as fat. So again, just concentrate on giving your body what you need. Always drink plenty of water. You need to drink plenty of water anyway, but to sort of help again with the digestion and process of it, drink your water. When should you be eating your protein after you've trained?
Oh, you mean the anabolic window?
Yeah, the famous anabolic window. Should you consume protein within an hour after you train?
Well, I would only if you've trained fasted. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
If you haven't had something a few hours beforehand.
If you've trained fasted, then I would say there is more of a need to get fuel, not just protein, but your nutrients in faster. Your body will, by that point, if you've trained fasted and you've exercised, your body will require nutrients a little bit quicker. But say if you've trained on an afternoon and you've been eating throughout the day, then the anabolic window
it's
a bit larger.
It becomes a garage door, not a window.
Yes.
So if you've been your nutrition's been good all the way throughout the day, for example, and you're training on a night, you don't have to wait. You don't have to. I've got to get some protein within that hour.
Yes, that's not true.
2 to 4 hours generally, because
some studies even suggest several hours after you've trained, which again, if you're hungry, eat. But what we're saying is you don't need to panic and think, oh, I'm going to lose my gains, or I'm not going to, my body's not going to utilise the protein as well after the hour. Your body will utilise the protein, will utilise your nutrients exactly the same way, whether you eat an hour after training or up to 4 hours after you train. Again, some studies suggest even longer than that. But like you've just said, if you have trained fasted, then yes, get your fuel in a little bit quicker, but you don't need to.
But don't flap about it if you haven't.
So like you've just said, the anabolic window is more like
a garage door. It's a bit bigger, in other words. You have got more leeway. So again, just chill out, go home, make yourself some nice bait, a little bit of protein, a little bit of carb, a little bit of get your veg in, a little bit something. Fats.
Your fats, little treat there. Handful of crisps. No, joking. You love a handful of crisps after you've trained.
Electrolytes.
Salt. Mm-hmm.
Electrolytes.
Yep. Fun fact: coconut water is also brilliant to get those electrolytes in. I love me coconut water. I had some actually.
So, what's the takeaway, guys? I think it's fair to say protein just isn't for gym. People who go to the gym. It's essential for recovery, fat loss, strength, staying sharp at any age. Yeah. Know your needs, hit your targets as best you can, and focus on quality sources, quality foods. It's simple, powerful, and as a game changer. If you really give it a go and stick at it, you will see a difference, and you'll feel a difference as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what all this is about. It is about taking control over what you're putting in your body, feeling better, feeling confident. Again, like we mentioned in our last video, what you see on the outside is a byproduct of what you put on the inside. And remember, ladies, protein can help support our hormones, help protect our lean muscle, especially as we age. So it is an essential part of our everyday nutrition. So like you've just so beautifully said, focus on your needs, what your body needs. Focus on replacing good, decent quality foods with your processed foods. Again, the odd treat ain't gonna kill you, especially if you've got quite a good nutrition
Yeah.
day to day. We do need a little bit of everything, so concentrate on giving your body a little bit of everything. And we hope this video has helped. And we're always here, so please drop us an inbox if you have any more questions or you need any advice at all. We are here and we are more than happy to help. So we will wrap it up there and leave this one with you. If you've gotten to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the shares, likes, comments and support. We really do appreciate it.
Let's get after it.
This is your true health. See you soon.
Cheers.